Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hey, we survived another week. It's time to celebrate. So take your shoes off, grab your favorite drink, grab your vape, your smoke, whatever, kick back, relax, and let's have some fun. So markets have been crazy, and that's great news. Walking there, it's easy for me to say, was just watching Alex's stream. And yeah, he was going through all the different cryptos. And so I hope you guys have been building up your bags through the rags to riches journey. And today you saw some great profits. So if so, I definitely want to know, what is your favorite cryptocurrency that you're looking forward to moving into the next year? So throw that in the chat down below. But I want to see who we got in the audience today. So it's like we got Wild Angel as a new member. Wow. Thank you, Wild Angel. Now that's something you guys can do is right here on the stream, it has the join button down there. And by joining the Down Home Crypto YouTube channel, that also gives you special perks within the Discord. So if it's something you want to do to support the channel and to get some of the early alpha information, definitely join up. And said, who's ready to party? And oh, look, SmileyGirl said me. Well, that's a good thing, because you know what? We actually happen to have SmileyGirl with us tonight. So this can be fun. And SmileyGirl says, can you pay for that with crypto? You know, I don't know. I got to try that. I don't know if you can as of yet, but I will definitely put in a thing to YouTube and StreamYard to see if they can get that corrected. That would be awesome. I would love to pay for my YouTube subscription with AVAX or BNB or one of those. And it's not far off. We're right there. Make no mistake. So without further ado, guys, got any questions? Got any topics? If so, throw them in the chat. And I want to say thank you real quick to everybody out there who watches this, either it's live or on the replay, because Down Home Crypto is about to break that 100,000 mark. We're this close. We're like 31 subscribers away. So if we happen to hit that, whatever stream that's going to be, when we actually hit that mark, I'm going to do a big giveaway for it. So you want to be one of the winners, make sure to be on the stream and share with your friends, your family, coworkers, whoever you want, but get them in here. Let's have some fun. So, wow, I just went blank. You ever fall off the bus? You're going along, you have a line of communication. I'm going this direction, and then it's like you hit a traffic jam. Like, okay, brain just stopped working. Yeah, that's my brain today. See, Waldane says 1,000. Oh, did I say 100,000? Yes, 1,000 subscribers. Wow, I wish we were that close to 100,000. That would be awesome. 1,000. See, it's Friday. It's going to be one of those days. So let's get me off here alone, or at least get me some supervision before I hurt myself. Sound good? Okay. And of course, we've got Crow, who is babysitting me today.
Woo!
What's up, Crow?
Not much. Just living the dream.
Isn't it great?
Every day.
So, and of course, Wild Angel, and that is her job, is to keep me straight. And obviously, we're having problems with that. How you doing today, dear?
Hi, it's been a good day.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it has.
And today's special guest, the one, the only, SmileyGirl. How you doing,
Hi,
dear?
Smiley. Hi, how are you?
All of us.
I'm good. I'm great. I am great.
That's
We look
great.
like a
I'm
bunch of
glad.
deer in the headlights. What do I do? Oh my gosh.
Well, according to my shirt, I am innocent. Innocent until proven guilty.
I got
Awesome. Love it.
We won't talk about that. Ooh, I got that dirty look. That's never a good thing. So, Smiley, my dear, it's been a while since you joined us up here. And
It has.
yeah, so what have you been up to?
Just been busy working and taking care of my mom and just, life. Nothing too exciting, I guess. But it's all good. Oh, I have a book recommendation for you. Can I drop that down?
Yeah, do it. What do you
Yeah.
got? Let's talk about it.
Okay. It's called Fantastic Land. It's a little more violent than I'm used to usually reading, but I really liked it. And the premise is that there is this amusement park on the coast of Florida, and a hurricane hits it, and a few hundred people are trapped there. And it goes totally Lord of the Flies, during that time before they get rescued. And the whole book switches from survivor to survivor as if they're being interviewed after the fact, but it's fascinating. They get all tribal and things happen. It was really good. I loved it.
Huh.
That
That
sounds kinda
sounds
cool.
wild. Is that the one right there? Fantastic Land?
Yes. Wow, you're good.
You almost
I
like I've
love
done
it.
this before. Okay, Crow, I expect you have that read by the end of the weekend.
Oh wow.
Don't know about that.
That's true. You do have a social life, or kind of. Hey, speaking of social lives, look who we just had crash the party. Cyril! How you doing,
Hi,
brother?
Cyril.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good, my man. Hey, you
Good.
forgot about us for a while there.
It's been 12 minutes.
It's a long 12 minutes. I was all alone and sad. I'm so confused. I can't count that high either. Hey, if you cut the first 60 seconds, my brain just stopped repeatedly. It's like, wow, speed bumps. So, good to have you. Looks like BTK's having microphone issues, so I hope he gets that fixed. I don't know what it is, but I think he broke it.
The jerry rig tech, maybe.
Aw, come
See?
on.
This is why he can't have nice things. Because he touches them and breaks them.
This is true. This is true. So now, Smiley Girl, how well do you know Cyril?
He is the phantom expert of crypto that nobody knows but everybody talks about as like he's the guy, and so he has a reputation. So it's an honor meeting you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I had actually no idea that was a thing.
It is.
Oh.
Yeah, aren't you like the founder of Parrot Finance?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. Okay, so, but you guys have never been on a stream together?
No.
no.
Oh,
No.
well,
Well,
hey,
it's great meeting you.
Oh, thank you. Same here.
awesome.
He explains things very, very logically, and it makes great sense to my brain. So,
Cool.
Well,
Just
it's
right
good.
over my head. I'm like, what did you just say?
Hey, I'm glad somebody gets it, Wild Angel, because half the time I don't even get it. So,
That makes
Nice.
all of us.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so it's Friday. We survived. Curious, what do you guys think about the markets today? Are we expecting a serious pullback coming this weekend, or you think it's going to keep going up? Go ahead, Smiley. You first.
Oh no. I don't know. It's so crazy. I think ultimately it's going to keep going up, but I don't know about this weekend specifically. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to get your guys' opinion first here.
Back on him. There you go.
That was good. What is like? Yeah, I don't know here.
Dude, that is actually a method taught in like business negotiation and whatnot. Is like if you're not 100%, like you want to basically ask the person you're trying to sell something to questions, right? If they start asking you a question, be like, well, how is this going to benefit your life? You know, so you know, what is it you're looking for? Like they flip back around. So good stuff.
That was good. And yeah, it almost makes me wonder, do you work in retail in any way, Smiley? Because that was really well planned out there.
No.
Fair enough. So, Wild Angel, Crow, what do you guys think?
I have absolutely no idea. I think I agree with Smiley over the long term. It's going to go up. We all hope. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But immediately, I don't know.
Fair enough.
I think Saturday it's gonna still keep climbing just a little bit, and then by Sunday it's gonna plateau off for the most part, and then come Monday, who knows? Could go
Good
up,
answer.
could go down.
I like it. And hey, look, BTK just crashed the party. BTK, my man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Wow,
Hi,
I love,
that's
like,
a
this
cool effect.
You have your voice box on.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I power cycled everything so that.
That was kind of cool, though. Had a really,
really was, yeah.
echoey sound to it.
Especially with the black screen of death. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I lost my avatar, everything. You know.
Damn.
What happened, man? I think you had a special computer just for this.
Oh no, I'm just using my normal computer, but I clicked on settings or something, and StreamYard was just like, "Oh, you want to delete everything that you put in here?" So awesome. So that, I don't know. That's how that happened. But I was having troubles because I'm doing some messing around and reconfiguring over here, and I unplugged something that is really hard to reach and forgot to plug it back in.
That'll do it. Okay. Well, we're glad you made it either way. And I think we're supposed to have Chrome crash a party too if he shows, but I don't know. Chrome kind of comes and goes. We never know about him.
He's a wisp in the wind. Sometimes, just when you think you're about to catch him, he slips out of your grasp.
Exactly, he does. And hey, Raven Rose, good to have you with us. Welcome to the party. So we're just getting started here. I think we got the gang here assembled finally. So now we can start getting into the craziness. So, Cyril, now, of course, the question goes to... I'm sorry, go ahead, Smile.
Raven Rose is actually my daughter. We've got one of the girls in tonight. So
awesome.
That would be my youngest.
Nice. Well, welcome to the party. This is awesome. Okay, so BTK, he missed the question. The question, BTK, is what do you think is going to happen with crypto? Is this green pump we're going through right now going to last through the weekend? Or do you think something's going to happen that's going to stumble and fall?
Sure.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't know. I'm just kind of along for the ride. I kind of don't care.
Okay, that's fair. So, Mr. Chart Master, if you would, give us some insight.
Well, first, I would like to say the reason why I was 12 minutes late.
Uh-oh.
So I was explaining to my daughter a concept because I made a joke. She didn't understand it. So in order for her to understand the joke the same way that my wife understood it and why she was laughing from the other room, required a bit of backstory. So I had to explain to her that because the servo bearings were upgraded with pre-confabulated amulite, it effectively prevented crash fumbling on the lunar wane shaft. So I got to be the one to do that to my daughter, and I wasn't about to miss that, okay?
Okay. How old is she again?
She is turning 10 tomorrow.
Oh, and you threw that at her?
Yes.
Oh.
That was epic. Oh my god.
Yes. So I absolutely had to play it all the way through, the whole conversation with her in order to have the full effect. So it took me a little bit longer than anticipated. Because she asked a lot of follow-up questions, understandably.
And you just kept going with it. And we're going with it.
And then she started arguing with me. She was like, "That's not a real word." And I'm like, "If it wasn't a real word, how the hell would I know what to say?" Right?
Right.
It's obviously a real word because I'm saying it. That makes it a word. You just don't understand what it's attached to. It's no different than hearing a word in a different language, right? It's a real word. Sorry.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, tongue twister. I just got done with pre-confabulated ambulites, okay? So, yeah, my tongue's messed up right now. Plus, the edible hit like 30 minutes ago, so...
Oh, so it's going to be a great night. All right, okay.
Yeah, let's
This
go.
is going to get crazy. That was good. Yeah, it's like when the kids started driving, I had to explain to them, it's like, yeah, okay, you got to keep the blinker fluid full. And you definitely have to replace the fresh air filter that goes in the visor that's for each passenger.
Don't forget about the elbow grease for everything.
Like, where?
And the powdered water.
Yep.
Powdered water that goes in, that you mix with water in
Yes,
the radiator.
That's on aisle 3.
Or in
Yes.
construction, the stud stretcher, right? If the stud's a little bit too short.
Right.
Or, you tell them to go bag up the exhaust gas so that you can test to see if the machine is running proper emissions. So then they're standing out there behind the machine with like this bag, 55-gallon contractor trash bag. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Smiley, that's how you do redirection if you don't want to answer a question.
That was good.
You make stuff up?
Basically,
No, he asked me what I thought about the charts for the weekend, and I didn't really want to answer it because I'm here to have fun. So I instead said, first I want to apologize for why I was late and explain, and then completely shifted the conversation. He wasn't even thinking about it.
Oh, that's good. Oh, remember that.
And BTK left. Bye, BTK. Love you.
He'll be back. He's having tech issues, I think.
Yep.
Oh,
Device not connected. There we go. Add to say, hey, look at
Look
that
at the face.
Hey, he's got his face.
There we go.
smile. We got a face back.
Hey,
So,
Agata, how you doing?
Hi, Ags. When you get a sec, can you explain? Yes, we can probably dig into that a bit. In fact, I think we got to talk there. Wolfgang, welcome
And
to
that
the
is
party.
my son-in-law.
Wolfgang is awesome. Well, welcome to the party.
Got the
And,
whole fan
Ags.
here.
Yeah, we do. Man. We're growing. Hi, Eggs. Swap edibles for shroom microdose. There you go. The winky face.
Heyo.
So, Wild Angel, speaking of, where is Ags' package?
Let me check tracking.
Isn't that a little personal?
Actually, about a month and a half ago, we sent Ags.
Halloween.
Oh, it's Halloween? Okay,
The Friday
Halloween.
before Halloween.
Okay. Can I talk now?
Yes.
Okay. Want to make sure. It's like, okay. So Friday before Halloween, thank you for the detail. We sent Ags a box of Idaho Spud Bars and a surprise in a box
Oh,
and shipped it off. And apparently, instead of going up north, it went all the way to Australia. And we don't know where the hell it went.
Australia?
Yeah.
Don't ask me how. The package says Norway. The address says Norway. It went to Australia.
Somebody failed geography badly.
Yep. Okay.
And that's when we wind up with some random flat earther in the comments being like, because it's faster that way. You just go across the circle.
Right, a short distance, dude. Come on, you know that. What the hell? Oh, God. So, yes, I don't know, Ags, but we have been trying to get this to you, and we will get it to you one way or another, even if we have to hand deliver it. I think it'd be great. I want to go visit Norway. So, thanks for joining us tonight. And by the way, Ags, thank you for always being so generous on the Abong Show. That is awesome. You're always donating to the Animal Sanctuary, giving the community. I think it's absolutely amazing. So, thank you so much for just being an amazing person.
Whoop whoop.
Okay, so, Cyril, you don't want to talk about the charts. That's fine. I understand. And yes, I remember the question. Haha. Thought you were going to get me on that one.
Well, I will say it's been 3 days and Bitcoin hasn't broken its recent previous high. That means probably going to cool off a little bit for the next couple of days. We got to let the MA50 catch back up, right? Come on, we've talked about this on Rags to Riches.
Yep.
But, you know, but yeah, that's all I'll say about it.
Perfect. I'm good with that. I think we're going to crab sideways a little EBGBGBs. So, let's see. It is the thought that counts. Love you guys. Flat Earth Logistics. Yeah, exactly. Figure that one out. So, I had a great question. So, it's a big
Oh,
white
it
board
won't
screen.
show. I tried.
Whiteboard stuff.
Is this a text message for ants?
It says International Transit, depart from Transit Office of Exchange on November 23rd at 4:10 p.m. Who the fuck knows where it is? Not me.
What country does it say?
No, it's just International Transit.
So, it's somewhere between here and there.
It's transiting internationally.
Yeah.
We know that much.
Exactly. There you go. That's great. So,
Agata says it's going like the Norwegian liquor, the one that goes on the boat.
yeah, tell us about that. That was pretty cool. With Wild Angel, tell us about that.
I'm gonna butcher the name of it. It's Lenny. I lost it. Lenny something or other, but it's you sip it when you're eating. It makes it taste better. Anyway, it travels by boat for like 4 months while it's in these casks. Thank you, Ags.
Aquavit.
And that's and so it's getting constant temperature changes and getting sloshed around, not just sitting peacefully in a room, temp controlled room. And I want to order some and try it.
The way they used to make it.
Right, yeah. The way she read it to me is, and it was Aquavit. I'm probably saying it totally wrong there, actually, but thank you for sharing the name. And it's like there's a 3-month time frame. It has to stay on the boat, and that boat has to stay moving on the open ocean. I can't dock or anything like that. So it's that whole churning and fermenting and all that. It goes through the storms. And like, wow, it's kind of a cool process, and that's how it's made.
Sounds expensive.
I think it does too. But now, Lynn, you said you found some here in town where we can get it?
But I don't think it's the same thing. It's an aquavit, but it's not that particular Linny. And yeah, the co-op, I think has it. I was going to go check.
Okay.
Raven Rose, it's kind of like a port. Like you sip it and it enhances the flavor of the food that you're eating. And it's supposed to be really yummy.
I thought that was ketchup.
A blend of honey mustard and spicy mustard for me, depending on what I'm eating.
See, there you go. What about you, BTK? What's your favorite side?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Extra spicy?
My favorite hot sauce is Melinda's extra hot. That's habanero. I don't find it to be like super spicy, but it's got a good kick and a lot of flavor. But right now I'm using some Melinda's ghost pepper sauce.
Ooh.
I just got a new one.
That sounds painful.
We're having tacos tonight, so
The only thing that's painful is for me, and believe it or not, is jalapenos, and they're like the least hot out of all of them. But every time with jalapenos, man, you know what you know. But even hotter peppers than that, nothing. It's fine. So,
Do you guys do like Mexican night on Fridays? Because last week it was enchiladas.
it's just whatever I happen to decide
Okay,
to make.
so purely coincidence then.
Actually, yeah, pizza's usually on Fridays,
Okay, I
Frequently.
just had to check.
other than the pizza disaster.
So, how about you, Smiley? What's your favorite side condiment?
Mayo. I love mayo on everything.
Okay,
My granddaughter would agree with you.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And Crow?
Barbecue.
Yeah.
all right. So here's a question. There's like the pineapple pizza, road you can go down, the pork roll versus Taylor ham thing here in Jersey. Now, what about oh God. I just forgot what I was gonna ask. I sidetracked myself.
You wrecked yourself.
What was
That's
your-
pretty bad.
Oh, wrecked myself. This is why,
Barbecue?
it'll come to me as soon as someone else starts talking about something else.
enough.
Inevitably.
And Ag says it is digestive enhancing, 40% alcohol, traditionally
Oh, I-
drunk around holidays when you eat fat foods.
There it is. I remember.
Oh, okay. What is it?
So, the third question is: does ketchup belong on a hot dog?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
That's 2 yeses.
Yes.
I like everything on a hot dog.
4.
It depends on what else is going on the hot dog.
Most basic condiments, like stripped down to like just the basics, not a loaded up
Then
dog.
yeah,
Ketchup, mustard, relish.
but it
Again,
has to be done in a specific way, or I won't take it that way, right?
Wow.
So I have to cut a slit in the hot dog all the way down, and then that's what I fill with mustard, right? And then I put the ketchup floating over top. So it's like the mustard is more married to the hot dog than the ketchup is.
They can be
That's a
good.
little
I've had
OCD
hot
there,
dogs with
Cyril.
ketchup. but I find that interesting. I'm the only like staunch no. The only thing that belongs on a hot dog is mustard and relish, but I'm the only native New Yorker as well.
This is true.
It's true.
And so
And-
Wolfgang says no, only mayo. Interesting. I'll bet Smiley would agree with that one.
Yeah, I've done just hot dog dipped in mayo. That's good.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, Tessa would love Smiley.
yeah. And Raven Rose says, of course. And there we go.
Too
Click.
much damn egg.
Yeah, exactly. Mayo, sauerkraut, mustard, and sometimes relish.
There's this restaurant chain near where we live that I will not eat at. It's called Freddy's. The reason why I don't eat there is because they mix egg in with their burgers, but they mix a lot more than other places do. Because yeah, you can add a bit of an egg to a burger, helps with the consistency, whatnot. But they add too much, in my opinion, and it tastes like I'm eating a beefy omelet, and I don't like it because that's not how it's supposed to be. But the mustard thing makes sense, Wild Angel, because it has to do with the order in which the things are going to hit your different taste bud regions on your tongue to have the most pleasurable experience through it, right? To make it taste better. That's why you got to do it in sequence.
And what I put on my hot dog depends on what kind of a hot dog it is.
Yes.
If it's like a smoked sausage type dog, it's onions and sauerkraut and more like a German mustard. Rather than, I'm not real big on yellow mustard, but
The brown
on a
mustard, right?
regular. Yeah.
Yeah.
And eggs, I have made my own bread, and it tends to come out kind of brickish. I think I overwork it.
Are we talking like weapon class brickish, or just kind of like hard a little bit?
You probably let it rise too long, would be my guess. So I used to, one of the things growing up in the middle of no man's land, Virginia, is we baked our own bread. We had bread baking season, where that's basically all we did for a week. And then we would deep freeze loaves. We would give loaves out as Christmas gifts, whatever, right? But it was always around the holiday because you wanted the oven running then to
Warm
do
up
all
the
of your
house.
baking then, right? Like I grew up poor, okay? We milled our own flour. We bought the flour in bulk because it was the cheapest that way. And then we would mill it, and that loud, ear-piercing all damn day, right? So, yeah.
That's impressive. I've never known anybody who's actually milled their own flour.
That's kind of cool.
That's one up. It really is. And Raven Rose is asking, so where is everyone from? And that's a great question. So everyone watching, where are you watching us from? And everybody here up on stage, where are you guys located? So the community knows exactly where we're from.
Mountain Home, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. Born and raised Idaho.
Same.
This is a problem. There's too many Idahoans here.
Spudsville.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jason, how's it going?
Yeah. Raven Rose from Texas. Been in Texas. I lived actually in Oklahoma for 12 years, spent some time down south. And my nephew is actually right now, I think he's in Dallas, where he's a doctor. J-Steam, my man. How you doing, buddy? Wanted to mill your own flour too, but haven't yet. Yeah. Sounds way too much like work, brother. And we got South Texas.
After bread season was soup season, okay? It didn't get any better, although it tasted better.
Right.
Although there is nothing like properly baked, thick-cut, home-cooked bread dipped in hot chocolate with butter on the bread.
Ooh.
There's nothing better than that, especially if it's like
Bread, dude.
cooled loaf from the oven. You put butter on it, thick cut, dip it in hot chocolate.
I have to
Thick
try
like
that.
3 C's.
Hey, I
thick.
think I figured out where our package went.
Oh,
Came
I
through this
think
time.
it went to AY.
What's AY?
AY is from Diamond Beach, Australia. Keep going.
I'm working on trying to get caught up here. I got distracted on the bread and hot chocolate. I'm like, ew, no, I don't. Yeah.
you don't think it, right? That's the thing.
Right. No,
You
I
don't.
don't. Bread and hot chocolate. Yeah. I don't know about that one. Made my own sauerkraut. Okay, now that sounds pretty impressive. I don't like sauerkraut, but just making it. I don't even know what goes in sauerkraut.
Sour and trout mostly.
Exactly. Where do you find the kraut at? Oh, that's on aisle 3.
Right next to the blinker fluid.
Perfect. I'm watching from my kitchen, peeling lemons at the moment. Okay, that sounds good.
You gonna
And I love-
dehydrate the rind? Like grate it up, dehydrate it. You can use it as a garnish on baked goods. Adds a lemon zest to it.
Homemade lemon zest. I like that.
Yeah, never throw out lemon peels. Yeah, don't do that.
You ever get lemons, so it's okay. And
Life
AY
hasn't given you enough of them. Have you figured out what to do with lemons? That's why you never throw out a part of a lemon, because at this point you should know what to do with every single part of a lemon. Life gives you enough of them.
This is true. I juggle. Then I drop them a lot. I got to practice more. So, AY, welcome from Diamond Beach, Australia. Good to have you with us. It's a Yosa yummy bread and hot cocoa. AY's laughing at us. Good. That's a good thing. And the cafe guy. Hey there. How you doing, buddy? Good to have you with us today.
So,
And Jason, my brother makes... Okay, how do you say that?
DeGras,
DeGras?
I
What
believe.
is it? Smiley says cafe
Oh,
guy?
degreaser with lemons. We're sitting here trying to pronounce some highfalutin freaking French food with degreaser.
See, that makes sense. I can see lemon and vinegar and all those for degreaser. Absolutely. That was good. I'm thinking it's some French things like, okay, I feel stupid now.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
degreaser. I totally get it. Right. Homemade butter almost
or
every
foie
week.
gras.
Ooh.
Yeah, sit there and just shake it. And that gives the kids something to do.
When my daughter wants something to do, I just hand her a pair of scissors and tell her to go edge the grass.
That works too.
She stopped asking me.
That's just evil. And I thought I was a mean parent. I think you guys got me beat.
Oh, Jaysteen, since you're in the crowd, this will save me a lot of research. I got to get new strings for my 6-string electric, and I want to play it in drop C. So what kind of strings do I get? Like, what do I type into Google?
Guitar strings.
Well, there's so many different types of guitar strings.
I think that's
That's
the first thing you tried. You went guitar
I wouldn't
strings.
even know at this point.
Exactly. How you doing tonight, folks? We're doing pretty good, cafe guy. How you doing, brother? We're just hanging out, having fun on a Friday night, chilling. Made incredible lemon zest olive oil, but I'm actually making ginger, turmeric, lemon pressed stuff right now. That's right next to the degreaser, right?
Oh, I have a question for everyone. It's
Yes.
a very important question, and if you are listening, you absolutely have to answer it, okay? It's going to be super easy. You're literally just going to type a single number in. That's it, okay?
Oh my
But-
god.
But how many owls would it take seeing in a single 24-hour period for you to realize that something was very wrong and you should probably call your loved one and say goodbye? How many owls? Think about it.
You know, every time you ask this, I always think of that Tootsie Roll Pop commercial. How many licks does it take to get set?
Say it again, Cyril.
How many owls would you have to see in a single 24-hour period to realize that something was really, really wrong and you should probably call your loved ones and say goodbye?
We live in Idaho. Really?
We got lots of owls.
Exactly.
So, Ag says 1. Okay, so I'm kind of curious. Why just 1? Because owls are pretty common, at least where I'm at.
That's the thing. It's where you're at, right? And
Right.
that kind of tells you a lot. How someone responds to this question tells you a lot about where they grew up and where they spend most of their time. And if you're wrong about where they like the kind of region they grew up in, it means that they're not very observant. So It's a great question to ask, but me with where I grew up, I mean, I lived in Virginia for a good period of time, right in the middle of no man's land. But the region we were in was predominantly populated by great horned owls, which are very territorial, and they will stake an area of probably about 20 to 35 miles as their territory, and they will keep all other owls out of the area. So we would hear them, but actually seeing them was a very rare occurrence. For me, I think, if I saw two, it's still kind of in the territory of, they could be kind of like an owl family, right? But like three, I'm starting to not be okay with it.
That's fair. And so I'm curious, Smiley, you put 10. Why 10?
Because if I saw that many owls in one spot within 24 hours, that would be wrong, because I live in the country and I don't see a lot of owls. So if I saw 10, I'd be freaked out.
Exactly. See, lived in the country, right?
Right.
I did too. And it tends to be predominantly populated by those great horned owls. You hear them every now and then. Sometimes you hear a barred owl that managed to sneak under the radar. They're the ones that sound like they're going, hoo, 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 right? That's a barred owl. But usually you just don't see them.
Interesting. And welcome, you bunks. Good to have you in the show, brother. So yes, we're starting off a little strange today. We're asking about owls. So how many, especially you bunks, this ought to be a good one. How many owls would make you nervous if you saw them in a 24-hour time frame? Really curious to see what his question is. Like, I got 30 of them out back. No problem. Wouldn't surprise me. And Cafe Guy says 1 billion. Wow. Yeah, if I saw 1 billion owls in my lifetime, I think I would be worried about that one.
I'd be really stressed. Yes.
Something's way not okay right there. So BTK, you said 3. Why 3, brother?
One is like, I've seen an owl before. It's like, that's kind of like rare, what happens. 2, I would be like concerned, but I would keep it to myself. Like I would be like, damn, like that's really, really wild. And if I saw that third one, that's when I would start calling and being like, no, like that's it.
I'm gonna die. It's over. Yep. Okay, bye.
The owls are gonna eat me.
So what's some of the community saying about it? Because I think you're way behind on comments at this point.
Am I? I probably am. Oh, I guess I am that. I am way
Thank you,
behind.
J-Stein, for the answer, by the way. On the stream.
Yes. So, Cafe Argentina, in a sea where there's none. There are no owls. Okay, so that makes sense. And J-Stein's laughing at me. How many reindeer does it translate to? So, Ags is, how do owls and reindeer, how's that correlate?
2 owls for every 1 reindeer.
Yeah, I've only actually seen a reindeer, like out and about when I visited Alaska.
Okay. Well, Norway, Alaska, yeah, kind of the same neck of the woods, just higher up.
Yep.
And apparently sauerkraut is fermented cabbage. I did not know that. Okay.
Really?
So I love cabbage. I hate sauerkraut. So
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
I don't like
That's
sauerkraut, so I could care less.
That's
Honestly.
why I don't like it. It's just cabbage that went bad, right? You stuck in the jar and added some shit to it, and it went bad. Why do I want to eat rotten food?
Yeah. Oh, it's rotten. Let's put it in a jar and sell it for twice the price. There you go.
Like, adding vinegar to it doesn't make it okay. It makes it worse.
It's already rotten. Now you're going to add vinegar to it to make it rot faster and then sell it. Yeah. And so Yubunk says probably 5 owls. Now that's interesting. Why 5 Yubunks? It seems like a very kind of a particular area or number. Is that like because an owl always has 2 babies and there's 4 is normal and the 5th one's oddball, or how does that work?
1 too many.
1 too many. Yeah. We have an owl family lives in our woods and hunts around that sanctuary. So we've seen it We saw 3 or 4. It's probably the whole family. 5 and the Goblin King is after me.
Right? Like if it's still in the this could be a family territory, it's okay, but literally anything over that and it's not okay anymore. See, Yabonks gets it.
Right. It's a good concept. And I never really thought about it. I've seen owls through the woods, everything like that. And now here in Idaho, we're big on birds of prey. So we have eagles and falcons, hawks, and all that. And we've got big areas. We're talking huge acreage set for birds of prey. And so, yeah, you're always seeing birds out there that will eat you or small animals. Dogs and cats go missing. Like, part of the game. No big deal. Just feeding the wildlife. It's okay. So I've never really thought about owls that big a deal. So it's interesting that that really stands out to you guys. That's a real big concern, because I could see 10 of them on a wire. Like, okay, they're owls. Big deal.
Yep. And that has to do with your geographical location, it really does, because if it's just not normal in that area, you just don't see it.
Right. That makes sense. And it acts as Alaska comparison 0.2 then. I forgot what the whole conversation was, so
The
Reindeer to owl ratio.
there you go. Okay, thank you. I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been one of those days, guys. Sorry.
I'm the one that's high.
See, that's a great thing. I have was it BTM? DTM? What's it called?
BMT.
Yeah.
BMT. There you go.
Yeah. Which, that's the funny thing. THC counteracts DMT. So if you're like having issues, you had too much DMT or whatnot, you take THC. So that's why I do it, right? It helps take me out of that state of autism and be able to actually just relax for a change.
That makes sense. Okay. And Yabunks is laughing hysterically. I love it. It's great. So the funny thing is, sauerkraut will never expire. It just keeps getting better.
I like him.
I don't even know what to say on that one. I really don't. It's like, it's rotten food with vinegar in it. How does it get?
It's like kimchi and kombucha and all that.
I mean, I guess it couldn't get any worse. Yeah.
Okay, how did we already end up on food? That was not the topic for tonight.
Well, Raven Rose is changing the topic now.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Billy.
I'm sorry. I was just saying we've been talking about food for a while now.
Yeah. It's time to go down the rabbit hole, though.
Yes, it is. So, what is DMT? Now, we talked about this in last week's episode. So, Cyril's going to give us a quick synopsis, because we got actually a different topic that goes with an earlier question we had, talking about what is crypto. And that goes with more of the question that we asked last night on our Rags to Riches episode. Now, also, if you guys haven't tuned into the Rags to Riches, definitely check it out. If it's your first time here, Cyril and I do a show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we start teaching you about crypto, strategic investing, how to build a portfolio with nothing more than giving up a hamburger a week or pizza. And so, after you watch this, if it's something you've been thinking about, definitely go check those out. Okay, Cyril, so what is DMT?
So DMT is a molecule that your brain produces. It's what allows you to dream. Historically, cultures believe that it connects you with a different dimension, and that's why they prize like the pineal gland. Again, we went a lot deeper into this on the last episode of Freaky Friday, so I'll just bullet point it. But people who are autistic, scientists recently discovered, actually produce DMT when they're awake too, at levels that are on par with someone who regularly takes psychotropic drugs. So essentially, autistic individuals are tripping on DMT constantly. If you take DMT, you need to be in a quiet space with only a few close people that you trust. It needs to be calm. They don't touch you. None of that kind of stuff. All the stuff that bothers people with autism.
She is autistic.
So you have, if too much DMT, you're tripping constantly. So in order for someone who is not autistic to experience reality the same way you do, they would have to essentially microdose on shrooms for like a week straight. So yeah, there's that. But that's why autistic people, myself included, are the way we are.
And yeah, it was a great conversation. And that's one of the great things is with Cyril being autistic, myself being autistic, and also my son being autistic, it makes a lot of sense. And it's something that I never knew about until just last week. Because Cyril, you said they brought the science out in the last year or so?
Yeah, it was recent. It was very recent. They're experimenting with essentially like this medicine that you can take that's supposed to stop your body from being able to respond to DMT. But yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. It's like, oh, this will help you on concentration stuff, but you could have seizures and your heart could explode and your brain could have an aneurysm. Oh, yeah, that sounds so much better. Thanks. I love this.
That's all the side effects.
Right.
Raven,
So,
you can go back on Serenity's channel, and you can watch last week's Freaky Friday, and they go into a lot more of the information. No, it's not the overstim, but it's what facilitates an overstim situation.
It's the underlying root, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely check it out. And you never know what we're going to talk about on these shows, and it gets all kinds of crazy. So, that was one that we spent probably, a good hour and a half covering that topic and, what it felt like, what it seemed like. And we started sharing a lot of our stories and our perceptions of it. And so, yeah, I would definitely say if you know somebody who has autism, or if you're concerned you do, definitely check that out, because we give a lot of real world examples of what it's like to be autistic and how it feels.
Oh.
And so Ag says, what is, I can't even pronounce it.
Ayahuasca. It's a psychotropic drug. So it's like shrooms, it's not like it, right? But it's in the category of.
Okay, so the fact that you can roll that off your tongue so fluidly is kind of scary.
I've actually never tried it.
Never heard of it. I thought it was another one of those weird French food things, like, here we go on the food again. And Rip says, okay, thanks, Mama. I'll do that. Awesome. So now, Cyril, we talked about this last night on Rags to Riches. We were going to talk about a game. So I love games. Games are fun.
I like games too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wants to play a game? Raise your hand.
Me.
All right.
First, I guess we'll take it from the top. I'd like to invite all of you to play a game. I'm going to invite everyone else I know to play the game too. So there's going to be a lot of people playing the game, right? It's very important. The name of the game is called The Money Game. The rules are very simple, right? Condense your entire net worth into a stack of $10 bills. We all stand in a circle. Every 5 seconds, you chuck a $10 bill into the circle, okay? That's how you play the game. Now, here's the twist. There is also a stack of an infinitely tall stack of black cards next to you. If you throw a black card out, you get to instantly take 10% of whatever is in the stack, right? Turns go round robin, clockwise. Anyone at any point in time can throw a black card out instead of the $10 bill. But you don't know what they're going to throw out until they throw it out. Would you like to play?
Sounds fun.
Sure.
Absolutely, sign me up.
Well, it might behoove you to know that you've been playing the game since ever, and so has the entirety of humanity. The money game is a direct result of consciousness. And at first, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm going to explain why, right? So, in order to play the money game, you have to want, right? You have to want something. As long as 2 people in the entire world are playing the money game, everyone else is forced to play it. Because if you are playing the money game, you can control anyone who chooses not to by using money with the one other person who plays the game. So let me explain. Caveman Joe has his rock. Caveman Bob has his rock. Joe looks at Bob's rock, says, well, you know what? This is my rock. That's his rock. I like my rock. I bet I would like his rock too. It's a new rock. I want that rock. So Bob thinks, how can I get that rock from him? He's stronger than me, right? Joe, right? How can I get the rock from Bob? Because he's stronger than me. I'm going to go talk to Steve because he's stronger than Bob. And I'm going to break off a piece of my rock. And I'm going to tell him how much I love this rock and how awesome this rock is and how much pleasure I get out of having it. And I'm going to tell him, I'm like, you know what? I enjoy this so much. I wish you could enjoy it too. I'm going to give you a piece of my rock if you can do but one thing for me, right? And maybe Steve lost his rock. He's missing his rock, whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter. But Steve is like, okay, what's the thing? He says, you're strong. I'm not. I want you to go beat up Bob and bring me his rock. So Steve's like, all right, cool. Yeah, I want that rock because he told me it's going to make me feel great, right? So I'm going to go beat up Bob. I'm going to take his rock and I'm going to bring it back to Joe. And then I'm going to have a rock too. That is the money game. As soon as humanity was able to conceive of individuality, they became able to understand the concept of mine. And as soon as we understood the concept of mine, we understood the concept of theirs. Because it's not mine. I want it to be mine. That's a base human want. So I'm going to find a way to get it, right? And all of society, all of our technological advancements, everything has essentially been a direct result of this basic, when you strip all the fluff away, money game, right? The people who have the biggest stacks of money get to give their part of their stack to somebody else who has a smaller stack than them and wants more, right? And has them go perform a task for them. Then they get their stack, they get to play, everyone's playing the money game. So the problem is there's no way to quit the money game, because if you decide I'm not going to play in the money game anymore, then somebody with a very big stack of money is going to pay someone with a little bit of a smaller stack of money to sign papers that order someone with an even smaller stack of money to come over, put handcuffs on you, and kick you out of your house if you refuse to leave. Because somebody somewhere at one point in time with a very big stack of money paid someone with a smaller stack of money to build a house and then sold it to you for a larger stack of money. Okay? You can't quit. The only thing you can do is get a large enough stack so that you can play passively. You no longer have to perform tasks for someone with a bigger stack of money than you, because you have a big enough stack that you can have your money perform tasks for you and play passively, because you're going to get charged the $10 every 5 seconds no matter what, right? So that's what you need to do. But it's tricky because all growing up, we live in a system designed by people with very big stacks of money, whom understand the money game much better than we do, because they engineered the set of rules that we play by. And that set of rules is called morals. You want to be a good person. Well, this is what being a good person looks like. Every influencer out on their phone, oh, excuse me, Mr. Homeless Sir, what can I get for you that would change your life, right? Be a good person, give the money away, go spend your things, whatnot, but you got to follow this set of morals. Don't dick someone over so that you can get some of their money. Don't, sell, whatever to somebody who is choosing to purchase it of their own volition, right? Because of what they might do with it, right? You have your set of morals, and that keeps you from getting enough of the stack so that you have to perform the tasks. Otherwise, the whole system doesn't work. And of course, when everybody has purchased a house, when that system is operational, and the only way to keep the money moving is by increasing the cost of things. So over time, you have the inflation, right? Everything gets more and more and more and more expensive, and that will never stop. Okay, it will never stop. So if you need to decide how high up the money pyramid do I need to go, because ultimately that's what it is, right? As soon as one person decided to play it, they taught it to one other person who affected another person, right? And then that person did it to those people, and the money game grew. The only way to get to that top, that 1% of 1%, those billionaires who are off doing whatever nefarious things that they're doing that's puppeteering the world and causing wars, because at this point they can pay everyone to do the tasks. So it has to go on a global scale, right? I want those resources because it's cheaper for me to spend money, lives on all of these things to get it for myself than it is to acquire it in my territory that I have, right? You don't get to that top level unless you have no morals, because all of the morals instilled and taught to us by the structure, right? You can be taught some morals, like base ones, like right and wrong on like a personal level to you, right? But all the ones that are taught to us by structure and by media, TV, etc., that's the set of rules they want you to play by. So decide at what point, how far up the pyramid do I have to go so that I can passively play, so I can stop playing this game. As long as it's attainable, you might have to let a few morals go to get there. But how high you can go is directly tied to how many morals you're willing to get rid of. Now, I'm not telling you to be a bad person, right? Whatever bad person looks like to you. Again, because it's all subjective, but that might be another conversation. Make sure you understand what your morals are versus morals that other people have told you, right? What feels right to you? What can you still go to sleep at night and be okay with, right? And climb accordingly.
So this brings about a great question. So let's play this game in real life, guys. So we got 6 of us here on the screen. And first of all, we got Ags, who said, I believe not many people know how fiat works. Otherwise, national reserves would not be a thing. Exactly, Ags. And that's what we're talking about here. This is a great experiment. So there's 6 of us here, and we kind of know each other well enough. We know some of our living situations, some of who's doing what. So let's say hypothetically, we all had $10 bills sitting here. And we all had this stack of black cards, unlimited amount, as many as we want. So let's say I started the game and I have to throw in a $10 bill. Okay, so Smiley, now it's your turn. Would you throw in a black card or would you throw in a $10 bill?
Are you going to take Serenity? You going to take Serenity's money?
Well, here's the whole thing. Can't I just go off the grid? Do I have to play the game?
Do you own the property?
Yes, we do. And we have wells, and we have our own food that we grow. And if we go solar for the power, do I have to play the game?
So as long as you have reached the level, right, that you need to be able to play passively, right, your expenses. We visualize the expenses by saying $10 every 5 seconds, right? That's your living expenses. That's life. Whatever you want to enjoy, if you want to buy a fancy car, if that's your goal, right? That changes your level, right? So if your expenses are non-existent, if you are self-sufficient, then you have enough to passively play the money game. You successfully won, right? That's the goal of the money game, is to be able to not play it but still survive.
I see. See, I like the whole meeting people and just talking to them and learning their stories and just the relationships in life. I'm not really into it for the fancy car, the Lambo, or any of that stuff. I just enjoy the community. That to me is worth everything. So do I have to play the money game if I want to stay in community with other people in the world? I guess so. Otherwise, I'm a hermit.
Well, yeah, because land is big, right? You need a way to travel, which means you need to be able to buy gas, which means in some way you need to participate in the money game, whether it's performing tasks for yourself and creating goods that you can sell to others, right? So in order to participate in society at any level, really, you need to play the money game. Otherwise, you can become completely self-sufficient. That's the only way you can cut yourself off from the money game. And as long as someone who is playing the money game doesn't decide they want your land, you can stay there. But the moment you disconnect yourself from the money game entirely, you disconnect yourself from any of the protection that playing the money game provides.
Ooh, good point. I don't think we have enough people to protect what we have. We would need more people here.
Right, which is why as long as two people are playing the money game, the game propagates. Because there's always going to be someone who's only one instead of two, right? And then it's 3 instead of 2, and then 4 instead of and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And the bigger that becomes, the bigger your stack, the more or the larger the stack that you're taking money from can be. Because
Okay, I changed.
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
changed my mind. I'll throw in the money to add to Serenity's. I'll pass it on then to Wild Angel.
Okay. And that's what I was kind of curious is, so let's do a couple of circles. Let's see kind of how people would respond and why. So Wild Angel, what would you do? Black card or money?
And the black cards, remind me what they are.
So right now there's $20 in the pot because he threw in and she threw in. So if you throw in a black card, you get $2. That's it.
10% of the pot.
But they know that you took it from them. Or sorry, they know that you took it from them.
Okay.
Well, I'd say the pot's pretty small right now. And so I don't know if that 10% is valuable enough at this point to throw in a black card.
Sorry.
So at what point does it become valuable?
So sorry, let me clarify. The entry fee is your first $10, right? Because in order to stand in the circle, you got to put in the first 10, right?
Okay. So the first round is kind of a gimme.
60, 80, there's 100 in the pot, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
80 in the pot.
80 in the pot, right? That's what I meant. We're each throwing in $10.
You're counting the circle.
Wait, if we're each throwing in $10 and there's 6 of us,
and then it goes back to me the second time around. There's 80 in there.
Yes, that.
Stop thinking, Cyril. It's hurting.
Yeah, the gummy got me a little bit. Anywho, so Wild Angel, that's the pot. Because we all paid our entry fee. So at this point, if anyone's throwing out the black card, they're just taking people's entry fees percentage. So
I'd probably throw in another 10 because the pot's still pretty small. And
okay.
Yeah.
So what about you, Crow?
Isn't even equivalent.
I throw in $10.
Expected that. Okay. Cyril, we're up to 80, 90. We're up to 100 now in the pot. What do you do?
Guys, I mean, I think that's pretty awesome, right? I mean, we got $100 in the pot. You know, if we all just go ahead and keep chucking in $10, we could get a pretty big pot. And then I bet you, if we group pull like this, we could actually go ahead and buy a business, right? That could present revenue towards us. And then we would be able to go ahead and just sit back and play passively. What do you guys think?
I'm throwing my black card right now.
I haven't thrown mine in yet, dude.
I like Cyril's idea.
I was presenting an idea before putting in my $10.
Right. Very good point.
We kind of talked about this last Sunday a little bit, I think.
Yeah, so I want to see what you guys think about the idea. If you're down, you know, I'm happy to throw in my money too and help, and let's go around and get this going.
Yeah.
I think that would be a much better idea to have a goal where we win as a community instead of just feeding each other and building resentment up. So I'm totally game.
All right, cool.
Oh my God, well, I just had a total deja vu moment.
If that's the sentiment, then yeah, I'll chuck in my $10 and pass it along.
Okay. BTK, your turn, buddy.
So it's just gonna go around and like this forever?
Well, I mean that depends. Are you I mean, the game's going to go on whether or not you throw on the black card. If you throw on the black card, then you're out, right? So the game goes on without you.
Oh, you can't play anymore?
Well, no, because you threw in your black card. You would have to throw in. Well, correction. You can throw in your black card, right?
Yeah, when it comes around, I throw in 10. But
Yep.
right now, I haven't thrown in anything, and I have a
Right.
black card.
Yep. Well, you paid your $10 entry fee.
Not yet.
You can't throw in a black card if you're not playing the game, dude. You got to pay the $10 entry fee. You already paid $10.
Paid 10, and this is
Yeah.
my second 10.
That's why the
Right.
pot's $100 already.
Oh, and you just got everybody all hyped up on this thing,
I
and I have to wait until it
I
comes
think we
all
got
the
a
way
good
around back to me.
yeah.
Well, all right. Then here, I'll get things started. I'm throwing my black card. I'm taking
Okay.
100.
Well,
Or,
guys.
10% of 100, so it would be $20.
Well, no, you get 10% of 100, so it'd be $10. So you got your entry fee back, and you're out of the game. But you know what, guys? I'm glad that he's out, right? Because if he was going to sell, I'd rather have him selling us now instead of later when we have more money in the pot, and then he's just taking money from us. So I guess it's your turn, Serenity. Now we got $90 in the pot. Let's go.
Okay, I'll throw my 10 in.
All right.
Hi,
Smiley?
Brett.
Hi, Britt. And yes, Ags, I saw your comment. I'm going to get to that in a second. I want to make sure we go through this experiment real quick. So good to have you here, dear. Okay, so
And
I put
then-
my 10 in. It's now Smiley's turn.
And Smiley, I got a question for you.
Yes.
What kind of business do you think that we should buy when we go around through with this?
I think we should produce something that no one else has.
Okay.
I
What?
don't know. I think we should grow something on my land. So I'll throw in my land for free and you guys can help me grow something.
Oh, wow. So you're chucking in the deed to your land?
Yes. We'll all own it together.
Awesome. Awesome. Wild Angel?
I'm gonna go help Smiley
Yay!
Okay.
and throw in my $10 and go help Smiley.
Awesome. What about you, Crow?
Throw in my $10.
That's awesome, guys. So, look at this point, not only do we have some starting working capital, but we also have the deed to a property worth, however much money at this point, probably a couple $100,000, right? Because that's the general state of property these days. So I think we got some really awesome working capital here, and I'm going to go ahead and throw in my black card. Bye.
I was waiting for it.
Same.
Billy knew it was coming. That's why he decided to just take
Yeah,
his 10.
I was like, yo, I'm
Right.
last in this chain of well,
once the chain
I'm
starts,
like,
there's no first or last.
well, yeah, but I just knew my position. Like I knew. I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna take this $10 and do something else with it. And I bought Bitcoin and it went up a little bit comparatively to Cyril.
I got in, I took my profits, I ran away, and yeah, and that's the lesson here, guys. Is it's one of those where the money game's being played all the time, and we play a lot of this in crypto, especially. I mean, it's just like this, and then you got somebody who builds up hype, and oftentimes those people are building up hype. Yes, we might be getting a little piece of it, but they're getting a much larger piece, and at any point in time, they can grab it and run. And so we've got to be very careful, got to be very wise.
Yep. We've seen a lot of that in the space. We saw protocols that have also just failed for whatever reason. I mean, there's always a reason, but whatever that reason may be, we saw that with ones like Liquid Capital, right? We saw that happen with Seifu. We saw that happen with a lot of different projects, and it's just be careful. Right? When people are talking about something really, really good, right? Make sure that you actually know what they're talking about, right? Understand the risks involved and understand that you're not really investing in an idea, right? They're going to try to sell you a dream, but you need to remember buying dreams, that's full of air, right?
So you just rug pulled us.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
he rug pulled his 20%.
Well, no,
just-
the 10%. I got 10% the
Yeah,
value of the
10%.
property that I didn't put in. And there are people, in crypto who I've seen do that. Like, they're like, I just bought, 20 grand worth of this token. Way to go, HELOC. And I'm like, what? Like they do that. So that's a very real scenario. And, I think it's awesome, Smiley, that you kind of saw where the scenario was going and helped with that. So kudos.
But I still met my goal because even though I lost my money and my land, I now have Wild Angel as a friend. And that's my relationship, and that's what I was originally looking for.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
And that's something real important. Like Alex was pointing out, I think it's a great time to bring this up. So on a lighter note, it's not all about the money. There are ways to increase your wealth by analysis and changing the way you spend resources. That's true, X. There really are. And that brings up another point. And just like Smiley was saying, you have to decide, how do you personally define wealth? For some, it's the dollar. For some, it's flashy cars. Others, it's jewelry. Then there's a select few where it's people you trust, people you love, people you care about. And that is where true wealth is. And so, I can tell you personally, for me, I drive my car like only if I have to every few months. I think I put gas in it the other day for 3 months before that. Because you know what? It's really about the people and the place and what I do here at Down Home Crypto. The friends I have here on the screen, the community, that's why I do it. I'm not here to get rich. Yes, I do want to play the game enough to get passive, but I'm not looking for a Lambo. I'm not looking for a fancy house on the beach or anything like that. It's really about educating, teaching, and guiding. And some of these lessons may not be the most pleasant. Unfortunately, that's kind of the game that we live in, the society we live in. But it's much better if we do it here in a philosophical manner and give you guys something to think about than it is to let you jump in blinded, say, oh man, that's going to go to the moon. Yes, let me sell my property, put that in, and then watch it get wrecked. I don't want to see anybody get that kind of damage out there.
Yeah, we've jumped in and totally aped in on things and kind of lost our ass. Yeah.
Done it.
Well, and that's the important thing to remember, guys. Like, there's a reason why they say, it's lonely at the top, right? Typically, in order to get more wealth like that, more money, you got to be willing to throw the black card out on people that right? You got to be willing to bend morals that you might not be willing to bend, and like me personally, I do have a very strong sense of what I consider to be moral, right? Like I want to see people do well. I have people that I care about, and so even though having more people in your circle kind of makes your circle too wide to fit its way all the way up the pyramid, right? It's going to cap where you go. That's okay too, because there is value to be found in those relationships. I've met some awesome people in the space, and I wouldn't want to give that up for anything. Like I don't understand, because let's be honest, we all know about Brian Legend, right, and what he's done allegedly in the space. But you don't have many friends left after doing things like that. So it's keep your circle around, do right by them. And if you make a commitment, keep it, right? Because if, what do you have if not your word? So.
And most importantly, remember, nobody gets out of this game alive. So you can't take it with you. So what do you really got? And so, on that, my philosophy is that, all I can leave is memories. And I can leave an example, hopefully, of what I feel is right, or that at least I feel I did the best I could. Maybe some people would disagree. Maybe they say, no, that's not the right way to live. This is. And that's the cool part. I know, Cyril, you and I have talked about this in great detail of everybody's free to make their own choices. And what I think is right, you may not agree on. And that's okay. You're free to have your beliefs. I'm free to have mine. Just like everybody watching. You guys are free to have your beliefs. We don't have to agree with them. That's totally okay. That's what makes it great.
Absolutely. Well said. And, it's just like everyone has their own, opinions on things. Everyone, believe it or not, sees their own version of reality. What something may be to you may not be the same to another person. And this goes back to the pre-confabulated ambulite. It's all, you like how I always bring it full circle at the end, right? So that might mean something to me, but to you, it means nothing, right? And so our version of reality, what we understand about it, is entirely based off of everything we've experienced and all the choices we've made. So, keep that in mind, that everyone is seeing things differently than you. So take the time to communicate. When you're having an argument or you're having a problem with someone, you need to understand that many times you might not be aware of the way they see things, and it would be impossible for you to ever see it from their viewpoint. So take the time to communicate and break down the what's behind the why, and try to just get on the same page that way before making rash decisions.
Perception is a bitch.
Oh yeah.
It is. It really is. And one perception, Britt says, Lambos are ugly. I agree. They are ugly, but at the same time, there's something kind of neat about them. I think it's just one of the fancy names, and some of those cars are kind of cool, but yeah. And Smiley says, the game was really interesting. Best part was really made me think. How often do we act in life without really thinking first? And that's a great question there, Smiley. So talk to us about that. How often do you really stop to ponder things and do internal self-analysis? I'm curious.
Oh, I meditate every single day in the morning when I first wake up, just to help myself focus on what I need to do in the day. And at first I thought meditation was supposed to be, you're supposed to like eliminate everything from your mind and not think about anything, like a monk or something. But I realized that too many thoughts go racing through my head all the time. And if I don't let them come through and leave, then I can't focus through the day and I can't sleep at night. So it's just something I just make a habit now, and I really like doing it. And if I don't take time to meditate, I'm kind of all a mess all over the place.
You got to let it flow over you like water,
Yes, exactly.
And so Britt says, what does that say? What's it say? Who wants to pronounce it for me?
Okay, Cyril.
All right.
Why is it always me?
Because you're the science guy.
Pagani Harua?
I'm guessing that's a
Pagani-
mental state or philosophy or something like that. And so, Britt, you're going to have to share that with us. And
It's
tell
a
us in the
car.
chat.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Pagani. Okay, yeah, that's the car,
Okay.
and then that's a model.
Okay, gotcha. I don't react, I respond. See, Ags, that is a great perception. And, it's really funny because me and Sarah were having a chat the other night. So, like 2 a.m. my time. It was like 4 his time. But there was a phrase he kept saying, and it was really bugging me. Something about it just kind of hit a knee-jerk reaction, and I couldn't figure it out. I went out to refill my ice water and came back and said, Cyril, I figured it out. It was bothering me, and I had to sit and talk through him with it. And it wasn't the way he was presenting it. It was basically based on my past, my experiences were having a negative connotation to something he was saying, even though his representation was not negative in any way. But it's one of those real interesting things that we were talking about, and I think it's great fits in this conversation, is that oftentimes, just like Smiley, with you having to sit and meditate and go through those thoughts, people don't realize we don't get to control what we think. We don't get to control what we feel. Those are going to come no matter what. The only thing we truly have power over is how we react. And that, just like Ags is saying, that's what you got to do. You got to pause. If somebody cuts you off in traffic, if you freak out and you go into road rage and you start running them off the road, all you're doing is giving them power over you. You're letting them control you like remote controls. Like, hey, watch, I'm going to make this guy get arrested for being reckless driving. Why would you do that? And so it's a great concept there to really think about is if we respond, not react. That's a huge difference right there.
And I want to point out, so there's a lot of people out there, and I've been guilty of this as well, who don't actually understand what they're feeling. And so they'll say something else, right? Like, let's say that your best friend told you that they were going to do XYZ for you, and then they kind of backstabbed you instead, and they got one up on you, right? What would you say? Would you say, ooh, that makes me angry? Would be like, that makes me sad, right? But you're like, that's not quite it, right? Like, you're like, I know that I'm feeling, but I don't know exactly how to say it. bro, you feeling humiliated. Okay. Now here's the thing. Everyone's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I'm not like, like, like feeling ashamed, cowering in the corner, whatever. Right. Like, nah, you got played. Right. So here's the thing. The word humiliated means to reduce someone to a lower position in one's own eyes or others. Right. Like you think you better than me. Right. And so you tried to play me. No, that pisses me off, right? So I'm feeling that way about it. And the reason why it's so important to know how to articulate and understand what you're actually feeling is because how you are feeling is direct indication of how you should respond. Okay? And because if I'm feeling humiliated, like you just tried to play me, you think I'm going to, ever let you back around again, right? Like you tried to play me, you tried to make me feel like worth less. You didn't, factor in me at all in this situation. Get out of here, right?
Exactly. And yeah, we have some great comments to come through. I'm going to catch up, not to interrupt you there, Cyril. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, I was wrong.
And Jason was laughing, so I'm going to make up words and put them in the sentences just to hear you guys try to pronounce them. Man, I would try, because, I am horrible. English language is like my third. Right after profanity, gibberish, and no nonsense. Yeah. Nope. Make me feel better to use choice words at my steering wheel. Absolutely. You know what? It's okay to react to that. It's okay to cuss and scream. But if you're racing up and running them off the road, like they do in Oklahoma down south, those guys are crazy. But absolutely nuts. That's probably bad. Live there long enough. And Egg says, you absolutely control what you think. Voice in your head is not you. Now that's interesting, Axe. I'd like to hear more about that because, I've come to the realization that thoughts are going to roll through, and sometimes there are things like, oh my God, where did that come from? And so maybe that's the voices. So I'm really curious, Axe. Can you expand on that, please? I'd love to hear more.
They're called ants. Automatic thoughts. No, I'm serious. I'm not playing. Automatic negative thoughts.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I'll let you get through the comments.
Okay, sounds good. It's hard to express feelings depending on the person and their life. Putting them in words is even harder too. Jason, I am with you, brother. I am probably the worst to try to express how I feel. You can ask Wild Angel and Crow and anybody who's seen me go through a trying time. Finding words is not my biggest thing. Mine is usually songs that I can play. It's like, okay, this is how I feel. But then that can be interpreted differently. And so it gets very, very difficult sometimes to put feelings, thoughts, and emotions into words to try to express to somebody.
It's called emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And that's like people have an IQ. People also have an EQ. And EQ can be affected by how you're raised. I was raised, you don't show emotion. You don't discuss it, anything like that. So I get around Serenity and his music, and he uses that to express himself. And I'm like, what the hell? I had no concept of that there was that many emotions. And, going through recovery and everything has taught me that I was angry all the time. I used to rage at everybody and persecute everybody. And I had to learn that was a secondary, and in some cases a tertiary, a second or third level emotion to mask what I was really feeling, because I wasn't taught that there were more feelings than that. So, it did a lot of stuff.
Because how you're feeling is a direct indication of how you're going to react. If you don't know the range or other emotions, right, you're going to say, I'm angry about this, even if it's a secondary or tertiary emotion, right? Because you don't have the EQ to get to the deeper, more advanced concept emotions to understand how you're feeling, how you should act. And so you rage out in response all the time.
And that makes sense. And I think that's one thing. And Britt gives a great sharing here. Says, did you know they theorize there are only two base primal emotions, love and fear? Interesting. I did not know that, Britt. And then she throws up intrusive thought. That must have been with the earlier comment.
Yeah, the ants.
The ants. Okay. Thank you, Britt. I love having a doctor in the family. A couple of them, actually. But, that's really interesting. And, Wild Angel, I've been through this over the years. People who haven't gone through this, they saw some of the chaos in the past. And, that's one of the things that, I was just talking with a friend of my mom's the other day where her daughter is right now going through recovery, having problems. And she is just always angry. And I'm like, hey, anytime she wants to talk, she needs advice, just needs somebody to say, hey, knock it the hell off. What's wrong with you? Happy to sit down and talk to her. But it's really interesting because I don't think until we go through some type of trauma or major event, most of us, not all, but most, don't really have a need to dig that deep. They don't feel they need to. So they don't really learn what the layers under each layer is until they hit some form of rock bottom or they hit a brick wall or something to make them stop and pay attention. So I'm really curious. What do you guys think?
I think the process of emotion can be different. Like you said, sometimes it takes you to go all the way to the bottom to really sit down and think everything over. Or sometimes it's a tipping point. Like I know there's been a couple times at work where something's happened, someone said something, or just some occasion, and I've just gone for a walk, gone somewhere else, completely exit the situation. And I know I found you a couple times and we sat there and talked about it, and it took me to get to a certain point, whether that was, like I said, tipping point or rock bottom, to work through it.
Okay, and that makes sense. And so maybe not everybody's rock bottom is dependent. Easy for me to say. So perhaps the level of trauma or your situation is a direct correlation to how deep somebody's going to go. The more traumatic, the more deep they're going to go. Do you think that's realistic? Or do you think that some people have a small trauma and they can go super deep? I mean, what's the norm?
Everybody's rock bottom is different, as we've seen in recovery. We're not the ones that ended up in jail and had our kids taken and, all that stuff. We didn't hit that rock bottom, but other people did.
Nope.
And my rock bottom was different than Serenity's rock bottom. And it affected us all differently. And so, yes, it is very personal. That trauma is personal.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
Exactly, Britt. It could be
Yeah.
losing a dog.
I know I would.
Absolutely, yeah. Your
Right.
dog is like your wife, Crow. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
I would
No,
expect
no,
you to take off.
100%. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's not being sarcastic. That's being real. And I think everybody has that. And yeah, Britt, like you're saying, the perception of the reality, and that's the trick, is everyone's reality is different. Just like Cyril was talking earlier. And so that means that their trauma is going to be different and how they perceive that trauma. Now, what I might consider a skin knee for a Tuesday afternoon, big deal. Somebody else might think that's like the end of the world trauma. So we've got to be really careful here. And this is one thing that I always try to advise people is you really don't know what somebody's feeling. And so you really can't judge their trauma. All we can do is be empathetic with it. It's like, hey, I can't sympathize because I can't feel it, but I can empathize. I've been in situations where I can, at least try to have some compassion and try to be understanding there. So I highly recommend utilize that. And now, Ags, you said you're Buddhist. Now, I don't know anything about Buddhism, but I've read some beautiful quotes about it. Very wise sayings that are very simple yet very deep. So I'd love to hear more about it.
Absolutely. But, going with what you were saying in regards,
Hold on. Is BTK you alive, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Ags was kind of worried about you, but you've been real quiet.
I keep pausing to make sure other people have a chance to speak before I chime in, but I don't want there to be like dead air.
And I know, I'm sorry, I'm guilty of that one too, because I want to keep things going. So I do apologize, BTK, if I have stepped on your toes in any way, brother.
What?
He's
I
just
think
vibing.
he's had too many gummies.
He's vibing. Nah, he's probably got his pen.
It's Friday night.
Yeah, that's what Friday night's for. Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoyment.
Have fun.
But yeah, just to go with what you were saying, Serenity. Just everyone is rock bottom is based off of their previous experiences, right? So just because you hit rock bottom now doesn't mean that's like not what could be rock bottom, right? Just like you wouldn't chastise a kid for being upset because they got a cut on your finger and be like, oh, get over it, no big deal, it's just a cut, right? To them, it's the worst thing they've ever experienced, at least that they can remember. So, it's always the worst thing ever every time, then it's a skin knee, then it's oh, my shoulder got popped out of socket. Can you pop it back in? I've had to do that for my daughter. She had, when she was younger, her joints didn't really like to stay in place. So, she'd be playing or she'd go to swing on the monkey bars and it could pop her shoulder out and you'd have to put it back. Or her elbow. Sorry, it was her elbow, not her shoulder. But luckily I know how to do that. So I would just fix it, save us a doctor trip. The first time it happened, we took her to the doctor because we thought she broke it. And he's like, nah, she's got this thing with her joints and, it just gets dislocated. I'm like, oh, well, I know how to fix that. So,
I can imagine that as a parent. Hold on, crack. There you go. Back to the.
Well, it's a quick pull, right? Because you gotta essentially straighten it out, and then it will pull itself back where it needs to be. That's so you do a yank. Brit Cherie, not sure, but we suspect that I do. I haven't gone and gotten tested for it, but they thought I had. They said I was Marfan-like. I'm sure you know Marfan syndrome, but I didn't meet all the criteria for it. And then through later research, my wife actually suggested it to me. She's like, honestly, I think what you have is Ehlers-Danlos or Danlos. I thought it was Danslow, but I'm pretty sure that you wrote it properly and I missaid it. And yeah, exactly. We think that kind of stuff can be genetic.
Exactly, eggs. That is so true. And that's why, everybody, we all have to have compassion in this world because we don't know what is their last straw. We just don't know. And I think I have other friends who are Buddhist and their perception of things is altered from mine. But that doesn't mean it's wrong or weird or anything like that. It's just different. And in some ways, to me, they seem very enlightened. And I wish that I thought like that in some ways. And maybe that's, it's, of course, something that can be taught. But yeah, totally being compassionate is what this world needs to be.
Absolutely.
You can be anything, be kind.
And so that brings about a great contradiction, guys, that we've been talking about here. I want to point this out and see what you guys think. So we talked earlier about the money game. That wasn't compassionate. As we saw, when we get compassionate and generous, it actually could be considered a vulnerability. And so the money game and compassion can almost contradict each other if not used wisely. What do you guys think? Does that sound valid, or how do you stay safe?
Rule number 13 of the solvency rules.
Don't loan money.
Well, rule number 13 says if somebody needs assistance, help them with your time or with your effort or with your knowledge, never with your money.
Like that. So how about you, Smiley? How do you stay safe playing the money game in today's society and being a good person, compassionate and understanding?
Well, this is interesting. If I can go back to what you were discussing before, I have an exceedingly high tolerance for pain physically because of some things that I've gone through in my life. But I don't think that I don't feel pain. I think I feel it just like everyone else. However, I've learned how to shut it out and turn it off. And so I do the same thing with everything in my life, like my risk tolerance. I'm very cautious when it comes to projects that I invest in. However, I'll be the first one to jump into a server and say, hello, everybody, how's everybody doing? And get to know them. And half the time I don't even invest. And I don't think half the people even know I haven't invested in the project. I just want to be in there and get to learn and know other people. And so when it comes to actually investing, I'm just, it's like half stables, a couple of projects, occasionally a meme coin, not very often, just because that's me and that's how I feel safe. But when it comes to the social aspect of investing, I love it. I love just meeting new people and getting involved in everything I possibly can. So that's how I do me.
That's awesome.
That is great. I love it. And now some people, we've talked about this before, is where some could say that time is the most valuable asset of all, because that's the one thing you can't buy again. That's one of my philosophies personally. So in a way, you're actually taking more risk, in my perception, by putting yourself in there and spending your time there, even though you're not willing to put your money in. It seems contradictory in my world. Does that make sense?
Yes, and we've been talking about this in the pillars. You know that, because they're trying to figure out how to monetize people's time and participation in the community. And it's a challenge. It's not an easy solve that, if you meet a certain number of PXP and you'll get participation in the revenue, and then everybody's like, yes, and they're all participating. Not everybody wants to. So maybe their value is different according to, what they value as time is money. I don't know.
Exactly.
My love language is time.
Oh.
And so quality time is how I fill that bucket. And so for me, it makes sense getting participation points to do stuff like that, to get revenue or anything, because I value my time.
Cool.
No.
What do you think down there, Crow? You're quiet. Sorry.
You're fine.
My personal belief is that I'm not going to... If I knew that if I put $20 in the money game, which is more than the 10, and that Cyril was going to do the black card because he needed money, and it wouldn't screw me over, I'd put the 20 in. Because I know that if I'm financially well enough where I can put up the extra 20 or the extra 10, however you want to put it, and it's not going to ruin my life, I absolutely will. Because as long as I'm not endangering my life, I have no problems helping other people out. Whether it's time, money, energy, whatever. That's my personal belief.
Yeah, he helps us out a lot.
He does.
I like that.
Absolutely. So, Cyril, you had something. Go ahead, buddy. Table's yours.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I can see why you would see that as contradictory, because time is a very finite resource, right? Whereas money flows, you can get it. A lot of people think it's hard to get. It's not. It's just the way that you think about it, right? But with money, we tend to be more careful with that, right? But we like to give time freely to show we care, right? Because time is more valuable. But one could also argue that because the world plays the money game, the reason why you pretend to protect money over your time is because without the money, you run out of time early.
Very deep. I like that one. That's good. So, BTK, how about you, brother? What do you think?
I don't know. I would spend my time doing things that make me happy if I didn't have to play the money game. So, that would be like playing the money game with my time, I guess. It'd be But you know, if it's something that I'm interested in, also, like, you know, like I'll spend my time teaching and showing other people like all about it, you know. But again, like I get something from that because it's like fun for me. It's something I like, you know. So yeah, I guess you could look at it like that too.
Sharing something you're passionate about. You know, we enjoy talking about our passions. You know, like nothing bothers me more than seeing someone who starts excitedly talking about something that they're passionate about and their eyes have like light up and then they're like, sorry, I'm rambling. And then they stop talking, because that means at some point someone told them, what are you going on about? Shut up. It's not important. Right. So, you know, it's fun to talk about what you're passionate about. You know, that's actually one of the big ways that people with autism show that they care about you, is they share the information, they share what they're, you know, thinking, what they're experimenting with, or, you know, what they know, you know. And that's why I collect so many fun facts, right, that I'm always talking about and dropping randomly off the wall. Like, why do I even know that kind of stuff? Because it's part of how I show. It's called pebbling. But so penguins, when they want to show another penguin that they like them, they bring them their favorite pebble. And so that's what people with autism will do if they do what's called info dumping. That's them bringing you hey, I really like this and I want to give it to you. I want to share it with you, so it's something that you can also experience and know. Right? That's a love language for autistic people.
Absolutely. And it works not only with passions, but that can be with music, with movies, with pretty much anything that they value, they want to share. And sometimes I can say I'm guilty of, I force it sometimes. Like, no, you have to understand this. And it took me a while to go through recovery to realize, no, that's not a good, acceptable way to teach or to share. You can't ram it down their throat.
I usually just chloroform someone. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Crypto school.
Yep, exactly.
Crow is even. Oh God, yeah.
No, I was about the chloroform.
Saturday night, every night for
every week.
6 months. Every week for what? 6 months almost.
6 months.
Of every week, he would pull up a project, and we would do the math and the percentages and the compounding and all of this kind of stuff. And Lord, eventually it was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep. And we had a bunch of comments come in. Let me catch up on those guys real quick. I'm going to pause this on stage here for a sec. And so let's see. So Britt brought up a great thought. If money is your absolute number one game before anything else, you will screw people over. That's very true, Britt. Yeah. If you're trying to get to the top of that pyramid, you will. Absolutely. Yeah. In your experience and access, I have all the compassion for animals and sometimes people. I play crypto as an unemotional psycho to benefit the innocent ones. Good for you. That's impressive. You laughed at me being passionate about lacto fermentation, Cyril. It stopped me from sharing more about the benefits of it.
Making sauerkraut? I laughed about that.
Would be milk.
Huh?
Milk? What?
I'm lost on that.
Well, lactofermentation is the process of preserving vegetables with like salt, water, vinegar, etc., right? Because it converts sugars into lactic acid.
Okay.
So that's lacto. But no, I apologize. I didn't think I laughed at you. I thought that I was like, oh, I don't like sauerkraut, right? Like,
I'm guilty. I'm sorry, Ags. Yes, for me, sauerkraut is horrible. So if I made you feel bad, I do apologize in every way. The concept, to me, my brain can't process it. And so this is one of the great things we talked about earlier is different people's reality. And we have to remember this. Sometimes what I find comical is like, oh my God, that is just horrible. Somebody else might think that's the most amazing thing on the planet. And so if in any way I was offensive at any point in time, I do apologize. For me, my brain cannot fathom it. My reality doesn't understand it. But for you, it's great. So you know what? If it makes you happy, simple fact is, who gives a shit what I say? Who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? If it makes you happy, do it. Absolutely.
Well, it's actually a unique example, so let me explain. So
Please.
you know how we were talking about perceptions and shaping your own reality, right? And this is kind of how this ties in. I had the perception that what we were discussing was like foods that we liked, because we were talking about condiments and what pairs well with what, right? So when she mentioned sauerkraut, you know, and have any of you ever made sauerkraut? I thought, based off my perceptions and my understanding of the topic at the time, that we were still talking about like condiments that we like. And so I interjected with the, oh no, sauerkraut's gross, right? Because that was my perception of what the conversation was about. Not realizing that in her perception, she was kind of changing the topic, talking about the canning process, you know. She was trying to info share because it was related to the sauerkraut condiment. But now that you stated that, right, I understand what you were doing with your perception. And yeah, canning is an amazing process. I grew up canning like apples and stuff like that. So I would absolutely love to talk about it and the pros and cons and health benefits by all means. But here's the kicker. If someone upsets you or someone says something that has some kind of negative impact, that's why you communicate it. Like Eggs did when she said, hey, I was trying to do this, but you guys saw it like this and responded in a way that was not appropriate to how I was trying to present it. She communicated that. That's the only way that we can ever see each other's perceptions and respond accordingly. So that was an awesome example of it right there.
And thank you, X. And I'm glad neither of us were offensive. My fear is always that I hurt somebody's feelings. And I think a lot of that comes from not being mindful in my younger days before going through recovery and really starting to see that. And so, oftentimes I open my mouth, insert both feet, and swallow twice until my shoelaces come out my nose. I'm famous for that one. It's bad. So no, that's great. And thank you, dear. And yeah, Sarah, I think you're absolutely right. And that's one of those things that canning is amazing. You know, that whole concept, I always looked back like, how did people make food last through winters before refrigerators, things like that? It's mind boggling. I have no idea. But at the same time, I don't have a passion for it. So it's one of those, I'm kind of like, pretty cool stuff, but okay, I'm gonna go that way. Fine. It's just not my forte.
Lots and lots of salt and using natural chemical processes to vacuum seal things.
And the fact people knew that like hundreds and thousands of years ago, that's amazing. It's like, oh my God, how did you guys find this shit? It's voodoo stuff going.
Like if you suddenly got chucked 300 years back in time, how the hell would you prove it, right? All you would have is rambling crazy man stuff, because how many of us know how to manufacture a cell phone, right? Or to explain how it works, or, you know, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Some really cool songs.
There you go. Teach them really cool songs.
I could do that. I've got that down. JC, thank you, brother. Glad you hung out with us tonight. It's been a ball. And yeah, we're going to keep going a little bit longer here. But thanks for stopping in, my man. Okay, so let me catch up on comments here. Sauerkraut, not for me. But kimchi is numb to me. Kimchi, isn't that like cabbage too? What is kimchi?
It's something that they bury, apparently.
They do. It's vegetables, and it's another fermentation process. It's. I personally don't like it. I mean, I like sauerkraut, but kimchi is like a whole other level.
Bury kimchi in a clay pot in the dirt. Oh, that sounds appetizing, Brett. What are you having for dinner? Whatever I dug up in the backyard. Have fun.
Yeah, I think it is the chili paste that gets me, Britt.
Mentioned cabbage chili paste. Okay. And by the way, Si, we're both wrong. It was not about canning. It was about gut microbiome and antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What you eat affects your gut. And
that explains a lot.
It can help you, it can harm you, and it affects your whole body. Okay. See, now I know I've had that problem being
lactose intolerant, I know, is one of them. And when you probably know the medical stuff of what it is, I just know that if I eat a brownie, so help me God, I think I'm going to die for the next 4 hours. I love brownies, but God, they hate me.
One or
cookies,
2 bites, he's done.
Yeah, I can eat the whole pan, but oh dear God, I wish somebody would just put a bullet in my head after I do, because it hurts. Yeah, weird stuff like that. So yeah, Ags, that stuff is very fascinating, and I've just learned over the years of I cannot drink more than half a glass of milk. If I drink a full glass, I'm screwed for the next 3 hours. I have to drink soda or orange juice to counteract, to try to balance it. I was just always told I was weird as a kid. It's like, just get over it, eat it, whatever it is. Now, just like, sorry, we were talking about the BTM, that thing. New technology, new advancements in medical science. We're learning all these new things about us. Like, oh no, really, you're not insane. You're autistic. Totally different. Oh, well, thanks for telling me. So, and Jason says, sorry, my keyboard is always messing up and pressed enter before I pressed it. Wow, that's pretty cool. Your keyboard knew you were going to leave before you actually left. That's some voodoo shit.
I think he was not meaning he's going. I think I think his keyboard cut him off, is what I'm understanding that to mean.
Does that mean that your bartender or your computer is kind of like your bartender's like, we're cutting you off. You've had too much Freaky Friday tonight. Go home. Fermentation has been proven in several case studies to help your good gut bacteria flourish. Really? Okay, so I need to eat more fermented stuff. Got it.
Yeah.
Oops.
I'll work on working that in.
So it's actually not as uncommon as you think that it should be. But if you get in a situation where your gut bacteria and your gut flora get decimated, they will actually do a poop transplant, where they will take fecal matter from someone who has a healthy gut floral system, and they will literally cut you open, stuff it on up in. Well, they probably don't cut you in anymore. They probably do it with like tubes and systems, whatever. But they take someone else's poo and stick it in your intestines, so that they basically transplant the fecal matter.
That's
fecal
fantastic.
Yeah, I probably could have gone the rest of my life without learning that fact.
That's a great business idea. You could make like the at-home version, like do it yourself.
You could tokenize it called Poo Coin.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Yo, I could code that up myself, easy enough. What's the supply?
Yeah, you could use the Open Zeppelin remix contract generator and make yourself your little token and your supply and everything. Yeah.
Look at the bright side.
Real world revenue from medical device.
There you go.
And we just went down the rabbit hole. I think we fell in head first on this one.
Look at the bright side. If a doctor says, I need to do a fecal transplant, you're not just going to be like, what the fuck is that? You're going to just be like, God damn it, okay.
No, I was like, the hell you are. Thanks, I want white flowers at my funeral. Have a nice life. Goodbye.
I don't know about lacto-fermentation, but I know about decarboxylation, and there was plenty of that going on here today, because I don't know what's going on with this. I left something in the window. And,
oh, dear Lord.
It decarboxylated quite a bit, I believe.
I bet it's real good then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go. Yeah, it's shoot, I had something regarding the whole fecal transplant thing, but then I lost it. I'm sure it'll come back to me later.
It was probably some shitty idea anyway.
Nah. Well, yeah, it is a shitty idea. It's called Pick Your Poo, right? Where it you literally get to see like a bio and like a picture of like who it's from, so you get to pick your poo if you have to have a fecal transplant.
Yeah, you can upload.
That way you can be like, okay, this person, because think about it. If you lead like a vegan lifestyle, right, or a Mediterranean diet lifestyle, right, would you rather not prefer to have the gut floral necessary to live that kind of lifestyle, right? So be like, okay, this person is a vegetarian, so let me get that. That way you don't have to worry about trying to recultivate and reacclimate your system to it or whatever. kind of makes sense, at least in my limited understanding of it.
Do we have to like
All I can
match? Like
Yeah.
this?
Like a
Swipe
dating
right.
app.
You want to drop the idea for 50 SOS?
All I see is somebody sitting there in the waiting room flipping through this catalog.
50
And all there's pictures of,
Yeah.
this is my poo.
Oh, jeez. Britt, that's scary.
Apparently, it was a good idea because they do it. So, see, look at how quickly, from talking about the concept to coming up with a viable business idea, it took me to get there, right? So, apparently, they do that. So, let's go.
I'm all about Jay Steen's idea for keeping the whole gut biome healthy.
Mushrooms, all kinds of people think I'm weird.
That might be something to check into because, no, I don't want other options.
I love mushrooms, so I'm good with that. It's a lot better than saying, this is my poo. Would you like my
Shrooms
poo?
are shit. Take your pick.
Shrooms are
Instead of
shit.
Instead of swiping left or right, it's swiping from front to back.
That's great. I love it.
And away we go. And this is why it's called Freaky Friday, guys. Everybody asks me, it's like, why do you name it that? It's like, have you been in one of our shows? Have you heard what we talk about? Come on, man.
So when are,
Freaky's
we,
the only way to describe this shit.
when are we doing the seed funding rounds? Because we can make this an app, right? Scan a QR code in the catalog and pull up all the info, have it blockchain based so the info's there forever. You can update it, yada, yada, pin to IPFS or your metadata, all that stuff, right? Because if you change your diet, right, you got to update that.
Yeah, no whitelist. We'll have a brown list.
Exactly. And if you get blacklisted, you get flushed.
Nice.
And down we go. Oh,
Dude,
God.
like, this is something that you could throw up during more bodily functions that you could toss up on the blockchain during the bull market, and it would probably go to like an 80 to $90 million market cap.
Oh, yeah, you chuck it up there, it's just going to go through the roof. Absolutely.
Oh
Literally,
my God.
yes. Yeah.
Wow, and the angel's like, why?
I think the
My
same
big question
thing-
is,
Just no.
does there need to be an authentication process? Like this is what I eat. This is my poo.
So, Crow, you're gonna love this. As a joke, so the internet is a very dark and mysterious and strange place, right? So, as a joke, we were talking about this one day because they asked me, how would you monetize poo, right? In a way that wasn't for like fertilizer. And I said, well, there's a lot of really strange individuals out there with some very interesting kinks, right? So we call it 50 Shades of Shit. And then we have a curation team, right? Where their whole job is to, like, the community votes on what singular food they have to eat that day, right? And then the following day, they upload a photo of the aftermath. And as an NFT that people can buy and trade if they want.
Right. Food and stuff, so.
Yeah, so 50 Shades of Shit. There you go.
There you
And
go.
I'm sorry that you just got demonetized, Serenity.
Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't be the first thing that we've had conversations like, what in the hell are they talking about? We
Well,
don't even
here's-
know anymore.
That would be amazing for the medical field, though. Think of all the research data that you could collect from that.
Apparently they already do. So they don't have a picture book, but they do screen all fecal matter and healthy history of donations. Wait, you donate fecal matter?
Can I get paid to do that?
Where do you think they
I was
get
gonna
it?
ask
For
that.
The
I
trans-
get paid to go to the bathroom? Yeah.
Yes, that's how they get it for the transplants.
It's got to come from somewhere, honey.
Oh, God.
You
need
never
the blood
thought about that,
from.
did you? Mm-mm.
Brain is blown. It's like, wow. I've donated blood. I've gone in and been paid for plasma, but yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Here's a bowl. Fill it up. Okay.
Well, the crazy thing is that's something that's been going on for a very long time. So those of you who may not be aware of it, when soap was very difficult to come by, urine is sterile, right? So they used to piss in a pot. and that they would then take the urine down and sell to the people who do the laundry, right? And so that's where the phrase without a pot to piss in, right? Too poor to have a pot to piss in. You didn't even have the money to buy a pot so that you could sell your urine. So bodily, all that stuff has been going on for a long time.
Urine
I never knew that.
canning process.
That's wild. And so apparently Ags is going to retire from doing this because she hasn't been sick in 8 years, not even a flu. So your immune system is saying, yeah, that's impressive, Ags. I wish that was the case. I think everybody here that I've talked to has been going through some level of flu or something. I know Wild Angel has, Crow has, Cyril has.
He started it.
I did. I'm guilty.
Well, I guess he started it.
Yeah. It's all backwards. How about you, Smiley? How you been feeling over the last month, girl?
Really good. I haven't been sick for a while, so I'm very happy about that.
Nice.
And I didn't get COVID either, so I'm good. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're healthy. I wish the rest of us was. How about you, BTK? How you been doing, buddy?
I've been doing fine. Haven't been sick. Haven't had COVID or anything. Though I did have to get COVID injection, or else I would have lost my job back when that was real, hype.
Right.
Really?
See, they tried that at the plant I worked at, and everybody came out with the same attitude. Is like, oh hell no, and mine was like, fire me then, go ahead, because I ain't doing it. And it was really funny because 3-4 months after that, once all that went down, I ended up really super sick, but I still went to work because my supervisor was gone, so I was in charge, and I'm just dragging my ass, hating life every second of every day. And the plant manager, he said, well, sometimes cold's just cold. And so I worked through the week, all week. And then Thursday at the end of the day, I went and got COVID tested. Came back Friday morning. Hey, guess what? You got COVID. So I called him up and said, guess what? I've been walking around the plant for the last week with COVID. Ha! Sometimes a cold's not just a cold, is it?
I thought that was funny because those who don't know, when Serenity was working with me where we worked, I worked side by side with him for the most part. I mean, there was times where I was right beside him looking at prints and everything constantly throughout the whole week. Didn't get sick.
Yeah. You're like Typhoid Mary, man. You don't get it. You just share it with everybody.
Sharon's Karen.
Keep it to yourself, buddy boy.
Hey, I didn't get you sick this time.
So not a serial killer. Got it.
The whole BTK Dennis Radner thing was like a little before my time. So that was like my CB handle was like BTK Billy the Kid. And, it was not, if I wanted to come off that way, I could be like, yeah, no, it is what you think it is, bud. Like, get out of my face. It's Billy the Kid.
Got it. Okay. Good to know. And Chloe says it's cookie time. Be right back. Okay, Chloe's the dog. And yes, the dog comes in and starts jumping and bouncing off the chair. That's when she says, I want a cookie.
I didn't even come up with BTK. They just started calling me that.
Oh, and Parker is sticking his head in the doggy door. Or I should say the kitty hole.
See, I like Billy the Kid as CB handle. See, mine when I was a kid was Cookie Monster. I was a little kid, but yeah. So at least Billy the Kid's more cool than Cookie Monster was.
I didn't come up with it. They just started calling me that. They were like, yo, BTK. My one buddy, Mike, rest in peace. It didn't matter who he was introducing me to. Like, it could have been the president. He would have been like, exactly like this. Yo, this is my man, B to the T to the motherfucking Kizzy.
I like that.
You could.
Yeah.
It's good to have a friend, though, that has that much passion in you, and that's how they introduce you. That's saying something about the guy. So, yeah, may rest in peace. But, yeah, that's pretty awesome that a friend would introduce you with that much passion and heart.
Every single time. Yeah, he's the one that came up with it. BTK, Billy the Kid. And it probably did have something to do with, the serial killer or whatever. But, that was... He just started calling me BTK. So, that was that.
Gotcha. And Britt says, I do that with her brother. His name is BA. And, Brandon is a BA. He's a badass. Absolutely.
Epic.
So guys, it's about taco time, I think. So about dinner time.
Hey, Agata, are you still here? I hope so. After you were talking about Rune in the brain fart in Bonks' show, I was trying to read some of the white paper, ended up putting it into Rags to Riches because I wasn't understanding it, but I thought it might be something interesting, get on other people's radar. So if you're still here, and go check out Rags to Riches.
I just
Actually-
voted.
Or the voting. Yeah.
There you go. It says it's in Down Home Crypto, and
Thank you.
yeah, it's okay. We'll square you away. So
Thank
yes,
you.
guys, keep in mind that we have the Down Home Crypto Discord, and that's where you can talk to any one of us. You can get advice on trading, on crypto projects, all that. But you also get to vote on what we buy on the Rags to Riches show. So if you haven't yet signed up and become a part of the community, let me throw an invite in there real quick. And if I go all robot-y, I do apologize. Let me grab the invite link.
I did a link for the Thor chain and the rune in the discussion, or talk about the vote.
Mr.
There you go,
Roboto.
guys. So yeah, definitely jump to the Discord. Get to know the community, get to know the people, and you get to talk to SmileyGirl and Cyril and Wild Angel and Crow and Beach Gay and all of us. We're in there anytime. We'll help you with anything you want to know. And if we don't know, I guarantee there's somebody we can connect you with that will be able to answer your question. That's some pretty
And-
awesome people.
If you do end up voting, you tune in for the Rags to Riches show, somebody wins $10 every week. All you have to do is vote to enter that thing. So
Yep.
that's
And,
not too.
while you guys are here, I just want to say thank you all for joining us tonight and hanging out with us for 2 hours, or however long you've been here. But do Serenity a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see y'all next week.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Smiley, I want to give you a special thank you to you for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you are welcome back any Friday night you want to hop in.
Thank you. This was fascinating tonight. I really enjoyed it. So thank you, everyone, for having
Oh,
me.
my pleasure. Absolutely. And and Ags, how do you win? It's really easy. So join the Down Home Crypto Discord, and the link is right there. It's in the chat. Go in there, and there's one channel on the side called Vote Here. And all you have to do is every Thursday morning, I make a poll, and you get to vote for a blue chip and a DeFi project. And on every Rags to Riches that Thursday, or the next Thursday, we buy whatever you say. We buy $20 of DeFi and $5 of blue chip. And we're building a portfolio there. Now, everybody who votes, their name is automatically entered to win at the dance-off. Now, the trick is you have to watch the Rags to Riches when it's live, and you have to DM me before it's over. But you can absolutely win $10 a week, or like last week, Rose won $20 because the person who won the week before didn't DM me before the show ended to collect their prize money. So, it's jump in, and it's also a great place because we have another channel, just like Wild Angel's talking about, where you can share your information. If you say, hey, I want to add this person to the poll, like Rune, I want to add Rune to the poll and I want to vote for him. Well, great. Now there's a channel you can go in there and you can share the links. You can do whatever you want. Say, hey, this is why I think Rune is going to be great. And so that way other people can learn from our experiences. So it's really trying to build the community up to where everybody learns from each other.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it.
So perfect. Well, guys, gals, everybody, boys, girls, cats, dogs, and small farm animals, I want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight on Friday. It's been an absolute blast. And make sure to tune in Thursday for Rags to Riches and next Friday for Freaky Friday, where who knows what we're going to be talking about. But thank you. And as always, the only thing I ever ask is please take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you get all this information. Tell your friends about us because you never know what's going to happen.
Bye.
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 Hey, everybody.
Have a great weekend. Night all.
Night.